Okay, question 12. So consider the semicircle shown. Now, we're not given the equation of semicircles, but this is a tech active exam. So we're going to use a little cheeky cheat. The thing we're going to be using is that our calculators give us some formulas. So if we go menu, go to conic graphs, and then here you can see we get some formulas. Now, I don't get a semicircle, but I do get the equation of a circle, which might be helpful to us. Because a semicircle is just half a circle, and we can use the parts that we want and disclude the parts that we don't want. So this is the formula that's going to help us out today. Okay, so I'm going to jump back here. I'm going to quickly note this down. So just like it was displayed on my calculator, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to the radius squared. Now, if I'm looking at this and I think about this as being in terms of a full circle, then I can think about this as having a center at 0, 0, meaning h and k are both equal to 0. And our radius here is from there to there, which is 4. So radius equals 4. So now I'm going to chuck that into my formula. So it'll be x squared plus y squared equals 4 squared, which means we've got x squared plus y squared equals 16. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rearrange this into the form that it wants. So y equals. So if I take this one to the other side, minus x squared, that's what I'm left with. And then I'll take the square root across by square rooting both of that, which will give me the plus minus. So that is why it turns into a circle. Okay, so we're going to think about this a little bit more carefully. If I want this to be a semicircle, I have to think about what happens in the positive case and the negative case. So here, if I chuck in a value, if I let x equal, let's say x equals 2. So y equals the square root of 16 minus 2 squared. Okay, in the positive case here, that gives me 16 minus 4, which is the square root of 12. If this was negative, the negative case of this, I would get negative 12. So that means that I have two solutions. One is here and one is down there. Now, I don't want the negative solution. I only want the positive, which means that my equation of the semicircle is going to be y equals the positive section, 16 minus x squared. Okay, if it was down here like this, then I would be doing y equals negative square root of 16 minus x squared. Depends what you want, you have. So be careful with that. The other option, the way faster option, is to remember the equation of a semicircle, but, you know, we forget things. Okay, so part B here is determine the volume formed by rotating the semicircle about the x-axis. So if I'm rotating about the x-axis, it means I'm going around like that, which means we're going to end up with a sphere. Okay, so all I need to do is grab my super fabulous formula booklet, which I thought was right next to me. No, that's methods. That's methods. It's also methods. Okay, so I've got my formula booklet. I am now looking where it says something about volume of a solid of revolution. So if we're about the x-axis, this is the formula that we're given. V equals pi multiplied by BA fx squared. Okay, so volume equals pi is not going to change. Now, our highest point here is 4 and our lowest point is negative 4. So 4 and negative 4. And now we're integrating our function that we've calculated here. So square root of 16 minus x squared, close that bracket, and square it. From here, we're just going to punch that in our calculators. So menu, we're going to go to that section, execute. Now we're going to go options, calc, integral. Now I'm going to go back to the start here and put my pi symbol in. Pi times. Now I can input my function, square root of 16 minus x squared. Close that bracket, square it again. Negative 4 goes on the bottom, and 4 goes on the top. Execute. Okay, and that's my answer there, 256 divided by 3 pi. So equals 256 over 3 pi. Okay, next thing we're going to do, we're going to evaluate how reasonable our answer is. Now, your formula booklet has got a whole heap of menstruation formulas. So we're going to look at the volume of a sphere because that's what this would give us. Okay, so we already know that the radius is equal to 4. That won't change. So if I chuck this in, you'll see that if you enter that into your calculator, you end up with the same thing. So now I have to make a statement, and always when it says reasonable, throw that word back in there. Therefore, 256 pi on 3 is a reasonable answer as the equation of a sphere. I'll tell you what, my spelling's cray today. Sphere is the same answer. Something like that.